get started. I'll try to, kind of go over the whole day quickly as possible, but yeah, we'll see. So now where we are in the PA, I already mark out the purple points, the liquidity points that I will be looking for. If you are bullish, if you are bearish, I do have for both sides. This was already taken. So this first thing, we can see kind of LR building above us, also accumulation. So now where we are in PA, right now we just rebalanced the bearish range. Also we have kind of soup CISD right here. The thing that I see right now, we do have these 4 consecutive candles closing higher. Not a huge fan of that. Just kind of idea for now, if you'll be able to close above these 2 red candles, kind of creating order block, then I will be looking for potentially taking this high of basically 1 AM-ish, or possibly going higher for this accumulation right there. If not, and it will continue lower, I will be looking for, potentially rebalance the bullish range first, or maybe taking the lows right here. Okay. So now closure below this kind of order block right there, I would be more bearish, and then I would be looking for potentially entering a short and, targeting the lows right there. Okay, we are not closing yet. Internal soup can also rebalance the bullish range right here. Now we are closing below this accumulation, and we are, kind of closing also below this order block, CISD, blah blah blah. So now I would like to see us taking this low again, these lows again, and possibly, creating manipulation, and yeah, so on and so on. In terms of our stop losses, since we already, rebalance the range and everything, I would like to see this candle be spark or remove, and kind of just go straight lower for that low. The safest spot, that high of 130. If you will put it also above this candle of 132, it's also, I would say, correct option, since we don't want to see us coming back inside the range, because then it will be more bullish than bearish. So we can leave it there. First TP, the low of 110 candle, and then we will see how much lower we can go. So now we are retesting that CISD. Candle closing like that. Yeah, we should go for the lows. Okay, another confirmation. Right now we should kind of respect this range. We are inside the OT of this little range right here. Kind of pushing higher. This is the last spot, yeah, where we can kind of reverse it because of this order block and stuff. If we'll be able to close above these wicks on the left, it wouldn't be so good for us. Internal super candle, and this candle is taking the first TP that we got right there. So we can take one off. And if you'll be able to close above the 149 candle, I'll be looking for exiting our position, or yeah, because after that we just had internal soup. If we'll be able to close right there, yeah, that would be more sus for me, interval shorts. Okay, still closing lower. Internal subheaded candle. Internal subheaded highs. If this is our manipulation, I don't necessarily like the wick of this candle. We do have this internal sub right here, kind of pushing higher. inside the OT or this 2 little candle range, meaning you can take this range. We just rebalance it. If we'll be able to get strong closure right here, possibly through that 149 candle, then yeah, I would be looking for exiting the shorts and possibly taking the longs for these two highs or possibly even higher. Internal sub at a high. Okay, now with this closure, we are still not yet closing strongly above that point. We will take for now the position off right here. And 2 AM is around the corner, so we can wait for that, but yeah, we should go higher right now. Okay, 2 AM is opening. We kind of sub the internals, rebalance little range, pushing higher. So now I'm looking for us taking this high, but if we'll take this one, I'll be also looking for this 120-ish high to be taken. Yeah. Okay, we are taking them. We are closing strongly above it. So now you can also take the whole range in consideration. Putting high to the low, we just hit 50% of the overall range. We are closing strongly above. So now I'll be looking how we'll react inside the OT of the overall range. Also I'll be looking for potentially how we'll react in this zone where we'll be retesting the previous lows right here. Order book closing right there, retesting it. Internal sub pushing higher after this candle. I would say like this kind of next confirmation and next possible entry for us. The thing is we are really close to this liquidity point, so I will stay out for now, but yeah, this should be the confirmation for higher. In this sort of trade you could enter right there, put your stop at the low, and yeah, just have your targets. Okay, we are pushing higher. Okay, another order block closure right here, also internal sub at the loaded candle. Okay, internal sub at the high. So now also this move is kind of straight up. 2 AM opened, we just ran. We took some internals on the left. This could be potential manipulation. If it is, I need to see a strong closure below 210 candle. Also this internal sub right here, I would like to stay basically below this candle. This should be the potential high if we are talking about manipulations. Also we are kind of retesting this order block on the left, but yeah, that's kind of irrelevant. Okay, strong closure right here. Thing is, I'm not sure if we are going for the lows right here, but we should at least rebalance the range right now, because again, this is just a straight up move. Also new for our candle open, also our rally candle open, and we just ran higher. So if we are still bullish, or you know, even bearish, we should go for the 50% first. So we can kind of enter even here, put our stop at the high, or at the little soup that we got there. First tip will be the EQ, and then we will see how we react at that zone. You can also delete these previous ranges, so it would be more cleaner for us. Okay. You're kind of souping the lows right there. This kind of closing below the previous one. Okay, looking good for now. Internal soup. Okay, internal sub at the lows. We are kind of not able to displace low for now. That's kind of sus for us. Okay, if you'll be able to go strongly above this level, I wouldn't be a huge fan of that. but also we are still inside this little range right now, so we'll see how we'll react in there. Also, we just rebalanced this little range by that 221 candle. 222 is closing kind of below that 220-ish, creating again order block, so I would like to see lower right now. Small candles. We are still not able to displace, and this is like a scary candle. Also, this candle is closing above this accumulation on the left, so again, not a huge fan of this. Okay. In these scenarios, maybe ES would be a little helpful, you know, like for example, if ES already touched the EQ, then it would be maybe, you know, able to manage position a little better. For us, we do have our stop, we do have our TPs, you know, so we'll just wait. Internal sub at the highs. Okay. Strong candles. Now, if you'll be able to close strongly below that 225, if you will be in a trade, that's possible entry right there, or a possible add-on if you are already inside anything. Okay, yep, we are closing below that. So now technically you could enter even here, you know, put your stop either at the high of that candle or at a protected high, which always is safer option. And now I'll be looking for that EQ to be hit. Okay, we are in 50% of those three candle range right now. Okay. Internal Subra, they're not a huge fan, but also these four candles are small. They're kind of reaching for something, so I won't be so scared for now. If you want to go higher, we need to first close above that 229 candle, and after that I will be maybe looking for, you know, possibility of going higher, taking the highs again, and sort of, yeah, but for now still just rebalance of the previous range. Internal sub at that candle, kind of closing like this. I mean, yeah, the next possible entry right now. If you're entering right now at that candle, you can put your stop at the candle high of 236, so kind of like this. Because if you will be able to flip this candle, then more probably than not we are going for the highs again. With reaction like that, internal sub at the highs, rebalance of the previous range, we should go lower. Then closure below 231, for me it will be confirmation for the move, and then I'll be looking for that EQ final to be hit. Also, we kind of do have a little LRLR right here, but that's irrelevant for now. Strong distribution, so we are finally getting some sort of distribution. Now the question is, we'll stop at the EQ or we'll go lower. So now we are hitting EQ, we can take one off. I think our stop loss is right now in, you know, best placement as we can have it, so we'll leave it there. We don't need to move it for now. Internal sub right there, okay. So now if you will go, you know, want to go higher, we just rebalance the bullish range. Right now we are also inside this little range right here. So we'll see how we react in that EQ. Also, there is some previous lows on there, so internal sub, yeah, okay. So now what happened? We kind of, you know, rebalance the previous range, push a little higher, sub the lows again, and then this candle closing like that above that 243 candle. Like definitely will hit EQ. And we'll see how we react. The furthest point should be this, you know, that CISD right here. If we'll go over that, I wouldn't be a huge fan of that anymore. Okay. Right, so now, since we are also closing above this order block, we are not respecting the CISD right here, you know, even the previous lows. More likely than not, we are getting, you know, hit So we'll just put stop to break even, or we can take it right here, doesn't matter so much. Okay, we are closing above that 236 high. So now if you want to go higher, you know, we do have still these two highs left. Three consecutive candles, internal soup at the highs right here. We took this 213 candle, we are still not hit that 211. We'll just delete these lines here. Okay. Okay, candle closing like this. If we are bearish, I need to see a closure below 248. If we are bullish and want to go higher, I need to see closure above this little accumulation that we just created. So let's say around, you know, above this zone. Internal soup at the high of that candle, also inside the EQ of that 2 candle range. Okay, so now you can see we are just accumulating. What does it mean? We need to wait for us to escape the range, because this is the time where a lot of you guys will get wrecked. You know, because we are just soup the highs, we soup the lows. Now we might again go for the highs, you know, then again for the lows. So now we just need to wait until we get out of this range. And after that, price should get much cleaner. Okay, so now we are escaping the range. Also, we do liquidity, we are so close to these highs. I would stay out of this, but this looks like we should go higher right now. Okay, if you'll be entering this candle, you need to see in the next candle just straight distribution. You don't want to see us coming back lower, you know, retesting those highs. You want to see straight distribution. In London, this might be small ranges, but in NQ, this could wreck you. Yeah, even this, it's 21 points, pretty huge. To the low, yeah. But even for London, it's pretty huge. Okay. Okay, so we assumed previous candle high, we are closing below it. So now I'll be looking for us to take this candle low, potentially that 301 candle. And then strong closure below either of these levels would kind of indicate to me like this could be our next manipulation for us to push it back lower. Now we are souping that 310 candle, so again we might go for the highs, or kind of just rebalance the previous range. So now we are closing above this CISD right here. Internal soup, CISD. So technically right now we should be looking for this high to be taken. And then strong closure above it. It should be the spark of the bigger move, potentially taking some of these LRLRs on the left, or maybe taking the overall high that I have marked out right here by the purple line. Retest of that CISD. So now if you are thinking bullish, this might be the best spot for you. So your stop should go at 313 or even lower if you wish, and yeah. Internal soup, the previous candle, we are taking that 306 high. Internal soup, we are still not closing strongly above this level. Maybe the next candle. Okay. Kind of 3 drive-ish right here. So now, if you are bullish, I need to see first closure at least above that 321 candle. But to be honest, I don't see us right now running higher. I would need to see a sort of liquidity to be taken, at least these lows right here. So we'll see. Internal sub at a high. Okay, so now we are sweeping the lows right here. If you'll be able to get strong closure below this little area, I'll be looking for potential entry for shorts. In that scenario, first TP would be these internal lows and then possibly the low of 243. But for now, we are just sweeping the lows right here, so nothing happening yet. Okay, so now we are closing below. This is kind of the first step for us. I mean, this could be the spark of it. So again, first TP, the internal lows right here. Second TP, 243, possibly the overall low. Okay, now we sub the lows right here. We're not able to distribute lower. Not a huge fan of that. We might get stopped out right here. That one you mean like in position? Or what do you mean? Yeah, I mean I don't care about it, I will just, you know, put 2 there and yeah, it doesn't take a long time. Alright, so now, since we are not able to displace lower, I can still see some sort of us pushing higher. The thing is, right now we are not able to distribute higher or lower, we are just kind of stuck inside the range. After this candle, I'm kind of able to see us taking that high of 321, possibly the 317. So yeah, like if you guys want to enter this long, you know, you can enter right there. Your stop should go at that 328 low, meaning you can enter right here, stop at the lows. First TP, I mean, to be honest, first TP should be this high. Okay, we are sweeping the highs. We can take one off. And now in terms of our stop loss, we can either put it to the EQ of the range. The thing is, we are sweeping the liquidity right now. We are still not able to displace or close strongly above it. Meaning we can also kind of rebalance the range right here. And our entry point is right at the EQ of the range. So now if we put our stop loss right here, you know, we can just rebalance it. It can stop us out and then it can push again higher. So then it depends how you'll manage your trade. I mean, there's nothing wrong with you pushing, you know, your stop to break even after your first TP is being hit. I see nothing wrong with that. But also we should have our stop loss in the point where our original idea is invalidated, you know, and for me right now it's kind of this low or possibly the low of that 329 candle. So now if we want to go higher, strong closure above the highs and then finally looking for liquidity on the left. If not, this might be the 3 drive right here. Again, ES could be pretty helpful right now. If you have, you know, SMT right here or SMT, you know, about these points right there, that could be a little helpful for you. Okay, so now we are just hit that EQ of the range. And the lowers that we should go is this area, this little CISD right here, this little order block on the left. If you go any lower, then yeah, you'll probably get stopped. And then strong closure below that, I mean, 328 could be the next part of the move, taking these internals possibly to 243 candle. So yeah. Okay, so now we are out. We will wait for the next clean opportunity. Okay, closure below this candle of 335 would also kind of could be the spark of the move, meaning we will close that order block. Then I would see us coming back for those internals, at least for these internals right there. Okay, so now we already take some of the liquidity on the left. What can also happen right here, we can just take the internal liquidity sitting below here, and then we could run it back also. So for me right now, with candle closing like this, I would be in the trade, I wouldn't be entering. So I just give you the idea, like if you are bullish, you might just take the internals, push it back higher. If you are bearish, we just kind of missed the perfect entry. Okay, internal sub right here. Also, we are inside the OD of this little range. So now, if you are bullish, I want to see a closure above that 336 candle. Then I will be more leaning for a bullish scenario, but I kind of don't like how we just, you know, printed a 3 drive, push it back a little lower. Okay, in terms of our range, we are inside the range of 331 to the low of 340ish. We just hit 50%. So now if you are bearish, closure below the 340 candle, then I would see us taking the lows right here, possibly taking the overall low right there. Okay. Okay, now in terms of our stop loss, we can technically put our stop loss at the low of 343. 343 candle. There's internal sub right there. Now we are closing about this order block, also about that CISD. Best case scenario, we shouldn't come back for that low. In terms of TPs, I mean the high should be the first, and then we could be looking, you know, for next possible manipulation or big expansion candles, something that will tell us that we might have reversed right there. Okay. I'm not a huge fan of how we just printed these candles right here. internal swoop at the highs. Okay, and that candle just stopped us out. So now, if you are bearish, again, strong closure below 340 candle. If you are bullish, we need to get above that 352 candle. After that, we might continue higher. If not, we just rebalance the bearish range right here, and closure below that 340 candle would kind of be confirmation for that. Internal swoop of that 352 candle. We are closing strongly above that 352. I don't necessarily feel comfortable entering right now, since we just printed again 5 consecutive green candles. So we'll just wait for the next possible entry if we want to go higher. Those 3 candles just rebalance the previous bullish range. And now this candle is telling you that we should go higher. Why? Again, we right here, we rebalance the bearish range, we push it back lower, we kind of rebalance the bullish range. Now we build more liquidity at the highs. We again rebalance this range of 353 to the high of 358, and now we are kind of closing about that 358 candle, creating CSD right here. You can enter right there. We can put our stop loss at the candle low. We don't necessarily need to put it at that 4 AM low. We can leave it here. If you want to go higher, first TP is this high of 331, and then we will see. Perfect. Okay. We can take either 2 or 1 off, depends on your risk management and how you are managing your trades. So now I'll be looking for this internal high to be taken. That could be our next TP, and then possibly we can be looking for those 3 highs on the left. Okay, we are closing above it. Kind of strong distribution right here. Again, we'll take 1 off right there, and we'll leave runner for these highs. Okay, kind of retest of the previous high, closing higher. This move is a little sus. Why? We just printed again 6 consecutive candles going higher. By that strong candle, we just took the purple high of that 6 PM candle, meaning we can take our runner off. We just hit our full TP. We just got several loss and we were in choppy PA. But what gave you conviction to enter 3 cons people? I mean, this candle by itself, it gave me that conviction because we are not able to displace lower. We just rebalanced the overall range right here. We took internals, and again, we just right here, we rebalance the bearish range, we rebalance the bullish range, we build more liquidity right there, and the thing that we are not able to close below this 352, and we just kind of rebalance it. That candle closing about that 358, that kind of gave me the conviction to enter right there. Also, the next candle or 2 need to be expansion candles like that 402. That candle is also telling you like we should go higher, and then this closure is telling you like, okay, like yeah, you are in distribution mode right now. So again, we just printed 6 consecutive green candles. The last candle taking the the high right here. So now we'll just wait for the next possible entry. This could be our next manipulation. Again, we just took a lot of liquidity right here. We can push it lower again. So now we are kind of closing below that 409, kind of creating CSD right there. internal soup. Okay, so now if you'll be able to close strongly below that 418 candle, I'm bearish. If you'll be able to close strongly above 415 candle, I am more bullish, and then I will be looking for a next possible entry for, you know, additional liquidity points, but there's basically only this one. After that, there's more like EQ ranges and all of that. Okay. We are in EQ for those two candle ranges. Now we're closing below that low of 418, meaning this is our trigger. We can enter right there. In terms of our stop loss, you can put it right here. And now, again, if that scenario is first, we need to hit the EQ of the range. Also, the EQ is aligned with the previous highs right here, so yeah, I like it a lot. This will be our first TP, and after that, we can be maybe possibly targeting the lows right here. You know, this is kind of LR, and yeah, all of that. Okay, I'll just delete these lines again, so it'll be cleaner. Okay, nothing yet. So now we're inside this little range. We just hit EQ of the range. Okay, we now got stopped. Okay. Now, if you'll be able to close below that 431 candle, again, kind of more confirmation for me that we should go lower. This move just kind of staircase higher, closure below that 431. I will be looking for us taking the low of 425, and hopefully we can go even lower to our first TP and then potentially for the lows again. Okay. So now internal sub at the high of the candle. Also, those two candles just rebalance the range of that 432 to the 433 candle. This candle swooping the highs, closing below. If you are not in a trade, this could be the trade by itself. Enter right here, close stop loss at the high of that candle. First TP, the low of 425, and yeah, second TP either EQ or the lows right there. So now we are closing strongly below that internal low of 425. We are also okay. Not yet. We can retest the previous lows. Now we are tapping that highs on the left. Also the EQ of the range right here, so we can take one off. And then now we can also reduce our risk to that 436 candle. Why? Because if we were able to close strongly above that level, I will be more bullish than bearish. So we can put it right here. And then the next TP for us, I mean technically I will be looking for that we go 4 AM possibly, you know, for these lows right here. Okay, we just soup the highs right there. So now we'll just wait for something else. Also, we are kind of building LR at the highs. This candle swooping the high right there. So for now we are not able to close strongly above that level. if you'll be able to get strong closure below this little accumulation, meaning the 452 candle, I will be looking for potential short entry. In that scenarios, we need to be over 50% of this range, which is also why with this order block. Okay. Internal sub at the high of that candle, so if you are still short biased, this should be kind of the high of that accumulation, and this should be the spark of the move. I'm kind of tempted to enter even here. We can enter right there, put our stop at the high of that internal soup. We'll enter right here, but in the next candle or two we need to see strong distribution going lower, because what can also happen, we can just rebalance this little range and then push it back higher, taking sort of internals and stuff, and yeah. We can enter right here, put our stop loss to the high of that protected high of 456. Okay, so now we are inside the EQ of this range. We are also tapping that order block. So now I need to see closure below the order block, kind of, you know, seeing that we are not respecting the bullish order flow anymore. And then the full confirmation for us going lower would be the strong closure below 443. If you want to be safe in these scenarios, you can put your stop loss to break even, kind of, because you want to see distribution. Because again, what can happen, we just, you know, rebalance the range, we can just flip this candle if we are still bullish. Okay, we are going lower. We are kind of closing below the order block. For those of you that are interested in BPG, there's one right there. So for now, I don't want to see us coming back, you know, for these highs. Also internal soup at the previous high, tapping the fair value gap. We should go lower right there. Okay. Alright, we can take one off right here, since we are taking the lows. And now I'll be looking for that 4 AM low. But to be honest, if we are going for 4 AM, we should also take that 354. But this still might be protected, so we will see. Yeah, the main question is, did we already switch, you know, from the buy to sell model? Because if yes, all of these lows right now are our targets. If not, we'll just hold it. Okay, we are taking that 4 AM low. I mean, I would like to trail our stop, but there is no, you know, not our spot for us to take those 5, 3. I mean, the only other logical placement that the high is kind of this little 501, you know, that soup, or possibly the high of 503. But as DJ is saying, you know, don't be a D for a tick, so you can even take it off right here. And then if you are bearish, yeah, you can kind of expect us to retrace to the 50%, and if you are bearish, you know, we can find another entry, maybe. Internal sub at the lows. You might see a little pop, yeah, okay. So now we rebalance the range. We are also tapping that lows from the previous ranges, so we'll see how we react. If you'll be able to get strong closure below that 516, possibility for shorts to run it back lower. Also, you know, I don't see any manipulation in this leg. You can kind of say like, okay, this is our manipulation, soup, fair swing, also one possibility. So yeah, okay. Internal soup at the lows. Okay, this candle by itself is kind of sus for longs. Why? Because we are not able to close above anything. We just rebalanced the previous range and we are taking also the internal right there. So now strong closure below that 552. Oh, sorry, 522. I would like to see us coming lower. Okay. The only thing right now that's on my mind, you can again just take the internals, possibly kind of rebalance the range from that 509 low to that 522 high, tap EQ and possibly run it a bit higher. That's just one idea. Okay, that kind of did our job, you know, we just rebalanced the range, we took internals. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'd like to take it to partial, but we're kind of break even. Going lower. Perfect. So now we rebalance the range, we again taking the internals, we are sweeping the lows right here, we can take one off. And now we can put our stop loss at the high of that candle of 530. Those internal sub at the highs. So yeah. Also, if we are still bullish, we just rebalance the range, closure about that candle. After that, I'll be looking for us taking the internal highs right here. Okay, we are closing strongly above it. So now we can just kind of wait and see if we'll take that high again. Strong closure above that 527. Okay. So now if we want to go lower, again, this is our current range. We just hit 50%. Also, we might also retest that 530 CISD that we just created. Okay, so now we are closing strongly above that 537. If you think that we are going higher, that's possible entry to target these highs on the left. If not, we might go a little higher, take internals again, and kind of, you know, be around here. Okay, we are again taking internals. Strong closure below that 540 candle. Could be potential entry for short. Okay. Now again, in terms of TPs, the first TP should be that 531 low, but if you'll be able to close strongly below that, I'm looking for the low of 509 to be taken again. Okay, a little push higher. Now we need to see a flip. of that candle in next 1 or 2 candles, because other than that we might be stopped out right here. For now this is just rebalance of this little range right now, right here, basically from the high of 541 to the low of that candle. We just hit 50% perfectly. So now we need to see that candle being flipped, closing below it, and then we might continue even lower. Okay. Now we are closing below the range. We are taking it 531 low, which is nice. We can take one off right there. So now I don't want to see us coming back inside this accumulation, closing strongly above that 546 or even 550 candle, meaning we can a little reduce our risk. Okay, this is kind of the last spot where we can reverse. Okay, we are closing below that 553, so now I'll be looking for the low to be taken. Also, we are building that LLR right here at the high of the move. Alright, and that's 6 AM. So 6 AM, we are taking that low again. This might as well be the start of the distribution lower. By that we can reduce our risk a little more. And we can just see if we'll take any additional liquidity right here or what we'll do in the next candle. Okay, so the next candle can take that liquidity of 354. And now we can retesting that CISD right here. So this is, I would say, the last spot where we can just reverse and push it back lower. If not, we are going for the high of that 6 AM candle. Possibly take some sort of, you know, that LRLR. And yeah, then we will see. For now, we are, you know, kind of in the range. Okay, we are out. We are closing strongly above that 6 AM candle. The thing is, for higher, I don't see, like, you know, the clean manipulation. Again, we might also be in the creation of the fair swing, but yeah, I don't see. Like, I do have kind of my manipulation in here at those highs, and I do have this little manipulation at the lows. So we need to take one of that, you know, for us to be 100% sure that, you know, which one is the right one. And if we take the overall range from that manipulation low to the manipulation high, we are in 50% of the range right now. So yeah, that's also something to have in mind. The move right now, we just printed 5 consecutive green candles. Also sub at the low. So now we will see how we react in 50%. Nothing yet. Accumulation, closing about the accumulation. So now I'll be looking for us to take that 606 high or 605 high again. I mean, these are small ranges, but yeah, you can do it. Stop at the candle low. TP would be that high of 605, and this would be our trade. Now we need to see closure above that candle, and it should be Gucci right there. Okay, kind of small candles. Retest of that order block, closing higher, creating another order block. If we'll be able to close below that 620 candle, I would not like this anymore. Because again, this is one of those situations where we can have S&T right here, and yeah, that would be telling. Internal soup at the candle low, another soup. So now, for higher, we need to see closure about at 624. If we want to go lower, we need to see closure below at 627. The thing that I don't kind of like is we are kind of, you know, going in a staircase right here, but also we're not able to displace lower. For now, we are not able to displace higher. We are in the 50% of that candle, of that little range. Okay, now we are kind of closing above that 624. To be honest, if we are going higher, I wouldn't be so afraid to target this high. Okay, and we are out. Awesome. Also, we are right now souping that 541 high. If you want to go higher, we need to see a strong closure or closure over at 634. That would kind of, you know, showcase us that we want to go a little higher, possibly for these three highs that we got right here. If not, strong closure below 631 would on the other hand showcase us that we want to go lower. Okay, strong closure below that 635 could be another potential manipulation. Internal sub at high. Okay, so this candle sub the low, sub the high. Kind of the same story. If you'll be able to close strongly below that 638, it's kind of same range with that 635. I would prefer shorts. Also, internal sub at the highs right here. Another soup. Yeah, that's bearish. The thing is, I don't necessarily like that we are inside the 50% of this little range, but if I'm correct, we just took another internals, you know, kind of sloppy PA higher, internal soup, kind of closing like this. I really prefer shorts right now. Our stop will be the candle high, but we need to see a strong distribution in candle low too. If we'll be just playing around here, I wouldn't like that. Why? Because again, we are in 50% of this range right here. Okay, looks good. So now again, first TP would be the low of 627. Okay, we took it. We can take one off right there. In terms of our stop loss, to be honest, I don't necessarily like to see us coming back to that order block at 642, which is also aligned with our break-even point. So in this scenario, we can put our stop loss to break-even right here. Also, we are now inside this little range. Kind of accumulating. Strong closure about that accumulation. I will be able to see us taking that internal at 645. And then possibly reverse it back lower. If we're bullish, we will close strongly above it and yeah, push it back higher. We'll see. If not, closure below this accumulation would mean for me that we are going for that low of 611, possibly for 601 and maybe even lower. So now this candle is kind of reaching that EQ of the range. So let's see how we react. Alright. So this candle by itself is telling you like, yeah, we should go lower. What you can also do right here, you could put your stop loss to the high of that 6:59 or 7 a.m. candle to kind of trail it. Why? Because again, if you flip this candle, then yeah, it will be more bullish than bearish. We are slipping that 611 low, so we can take it off right here. Retest of that previous order block, retest of 6 a.m. opening. Okay. So now we rebalance this little range from 6:59 to the low of 7:01. We went to the OTE, and now closure built 7:04. After that, I will be looking for another short entry. Possibly, could also argue that this also entry for short. I'm not a huge fan of it for now. I want to see more. Okay, so now we are going lower. We are closing below these lows, so I kind of like it more right here. I was looking if there is BPG right there, but yeah, there's not. In this trade, I again would like to see us distributing lower. I don't necessarily want to see us, coming back inside the range, maybe retesting that CISD right here. Right here. Again, the best entry or the best stop loss is at the high, right there. I mean, there is also possible FEG right here, if I'm correct. Yeah, there is a really small one. So again, by DJ teachings, the stop should be at the high of the candle. But yeah, if you'll be able to get about that 708, that would be really sus for me. In terms of TPs, the first TP 601, and then we will see. Okay, 601 was swept by candle closure like this. If we would be able to close above 710 candle, it will be a little sus for me. Okay, so now we again need to play a range from the high to the low. So we rebalance the previous range. We are going above that CISD level. I'm not a huge fan of that. Internal soup. So for now, this needs to be the high. If we'll be able to flip this candle and close above it, we are going for the highs again. If not, this is the last high, and now the closure below 711. That will tell us that we are going lower. Possibly, we could be looking for these lows or for these 4 hourly candles or 4 hourly openings. Internal soup. Beautiful confirmation right there. We are closing below these lows. We can technically take one off right here. And so now, depending, on what their target is, you could even take the whole position off right there. I would trail this one, meaning I will wait for something to tell me that I should get out, or for possible, manipulation to occur. quick candles down, small weekend candles going higher, internal sub at the high of that candle. Closure like this should be kind of the spark of the move. We are closing out the lows, pushing it lower. Okay, so now we can throw our stop to that 724 high. Why? Because again, if you'll be able to get to that high, you know, close above it, could be the next possible manipulation for us to then push it back higher. So we can try our stop right here. Internal sub right there. With that candle we can kind of expect that we will at least rebalance the range, meaning the range of 724 to the 731. Okay. Internal sub right there. I don't like this so much. Internal sub at the highs. We're kind of holding this, you know, the last order block that we had right here. Right now we're kind of rebalancing this range from 731 to 735, meaning if you will be able to get closure above 737, I would consider this possible manipulation, sub, fair swing, and then closure above that could be potential spark or the move higher. So we can either wait or we can reduce our risk a little right here to the high of 735. Okay, good closure. Internal sub at the highs. Also there is small BPG right there. And we're going lower. So now we took that low of 1:50 AM. I mean, we could be down right here. This looks like possible distribution even lower, but yeah, we'll be done, we'll be content. So now again, same story. We are inside this range. We need to see how we react in EQ and OT of the region. We just rebalance the range. We can have internal sub at the highs. The thing is, I don't see this move as our manipulation. I see it more as distribution. So at some point I would like to see us taking it low again. Now we rebalance the move lower. This kind of rebalance the move higher by 744 low to the 750 high. We just inside the EQ/OTE. In closure above 751 I'll be looking for higher. Yeah, right there. The thing is, I'm not convinced that we do have manipulation, so I don't think we'll take the high right here. Meaning we just, you know, might go for that internal of 741 or, you know, rebalance inside OTE and push it back lower. So we'll stay out for now. Okay. Now we just printed again 5 consecutive green candles. So now we rebalance this range. If you want to still go higher, we need to respect this little CISD right here. If not, and we will close above 754, we should go lower. Okay, we just tap it right there. The retracement, can the closure higher. So now potentially I would like to see us taking the highs right here again. What I don't like, we are creating a lot right here. Strong candles or candle closing strong. Sorry, candles are closing strongly right here, and now we are just going with LR higher. You know, kind of the staircase scenario. So we'll see how we react. Okay, so now, if I'm correct, this will be the high, or we'll now soup the high again, and then closure below 805 will be spark of the move that should take us for the low of 744 again. Why I think that, again, I'm going over this model in our 3-hour session that we did. I'm going over that model more in there, but yeah. Internal sub at the high. This might be also the last high of this leg, and we might leave this 758. Okay, so now closure below 805 will be in short. Okay, the next candle should do it. Yeah, right there. I'm not a huge fan entering right here. Why? Because we are also, you know, already so deep in the range. But by that model, yeah, we should take the lows right here. So even entering here, the thing is, you know, stop loss placement is a little hard in that range. There is a little BPG, so maybe we could put it right there, but yeah, we'll just wait. Alright, we took the lows. So now we'll wait if we'll have, okay, internal soup. So now, if we'll be able to close strongly above that 815 candle, I definitely like these two candles more as my manipulation than this whole leg. That's for sure. So now we are closing higher. We are also inside the EQ of the range right here. So now with this retest, this might be, you know, the best spot for longs. But in the next candle or two, we need to see a flip of that 821 candle. So we can enter right here. We can put our stop. I mean, we need to put it at the lows right here. And if we'll be able to close above that 821, I would put my stop, you know, below that order block. We are souping the lows right here. Okay, pushing a little higher. Another soup. Okay. Now we are, you know, again, we just rebalance the range for now. That's the candle. Okay, we can reduce our risk. Even here, we should be okay. So now this should be kind of the spark of the move, and now I'll be looking for us to take the highs right here. If you want, you can take scared partial in here, or why not, but yeah. Internal sub at a high. This might be the same scenario as here, where we just rebalance inside the OTE with kind of those staircase. You know what, I'll take one off right here, just to protect us. Internal sub at the low. Right now we need to bear in mind that the range of 825 to the high of 827. We just rebalance it. So now closure above that 827, I'll be looking for highs. Internal sub at the highs, internal sub at the lows. Okay. So 830, I'm not sure. What was that? NFP probably. Friday of the, yeah, it should be NFP. Okay. So now that single candle, sweep the low again. We take that liquidity that we just built up, basically from, you know, from London. We just took it all. So now we are also take those two purple lines in terms of our next liquidity points. We do have new candle high, new candle low, new candle low. So this is kind of strong liquidity points for us. I mean, we can put horizontal line right here, and we will just make it, let's say, orange. We might be in the distribution mode. That's the reason why I'm not marking the highs again, because we might just take it, you know, right now. Yeah. Okay. So now I would like to see how we react inside 50% of that news leg. Okay, we just tapped 50%. Okay, we are pushing higher. If we'll be able to close above that 832, I will be looking for possible long entry from there, you know, to maybe target EQ of this higher range, or yeah, we'll see. So strong closure above here, long entry. Strong closure below this little accumulation down here could be possible short entry. Internal sub at the highs, also from the range high to the range low, we just rebalance it to the tick. So now if you'll be able to close below that 836, again, I'll be looking for short. Okay. Oh, now we are closing below it. The thing is, we are souping the lows, which I'm not a huge fan of that. Again, wicks do damage, but it tells story. We are closing below the accumulation. We can put one here. We can put our stop loss at the candle high. We can kind of put our TP into the low. What I tend to do is, you know, a lot of people tend to do fractals or quarters of the wick of the news candles. Maybe Eric would be able to say more about that, because he's more, I believe he's more knowledgeable about it than me. But yeah, I'm usually taking, you know, as my TP the candle body of the news candles, because yeah, more time than not will hit it. But yeah, it's up to you if you take. You'll be targeting the body or, yeah, the low of the candle. It's up to you. So now we need to see, yeah, we need to see continuation lower. Why? Again, we just soup the lows here. So it was might possible that we just reverse it, but yeah, they should go lower. Okay, now we are inside the range of 837 to the 842 low. We just rebalance it. So I would like to see strong reaction from here. Possibly we might, you know, tap that order block at 836. Internal sub at the high. Okay, right now what we can do, since we just rebalance the range, we are pushing back lower. Kind of strong candles. We are in one contract right here. We can add one more. We can put our stop loss at the high of 845. And now first TP I would take one off either at a low of 842 or at a 830, and then I will be looking for us take that low of 8 or basically the new candle low. Okay, internal sub at the low. This is your confirmation. Candle closing below these two candles, creating order block. I would even say that we can put our stop loss at that 848 high, since I don't want to see us coming back to it. Again, we hit the EQ of the range. And now we are closing below this low, below that low. We are also taking that candle body. So we may just take one off right here. We might put our stop loss, yeah, right at break even right now. And now we're looking how we'll react at it low. We can also, yeah, we can put our TP right here. Okay, we hit it, we sub the low. We are also into the range of 9 AM, so now I'll just kind of skip a little more and we'll wait for market open. Closure above this high of 905, I would prefer more longs. Okay, kind of sloppy, you know, PA going higher. I would like to see us possibly taking lows again. Okay. So now 929. If market opens and close above that 927, I'll be entering for a long. Okay. We sub the low, we are not closing yet above the highs, but I'm pretty sure that, you know, we'll go higher. For you that are, you know, just asking yourself why, go back and study market open CISDs. That's the only thing I will tell you right now. In terms of our TPs, the first TP would be this high. The second TP, technically this is just a LR, so I wouldn't be surprised if he just turned it back to the highs again. Maybe it's 50%, which would be around this high. Internal sub right there, kind of closing about the CISD. If you are not in a trade, this as well might be the best next entry. Another sub, kind of closing higher. Awesome. We just take the first TP, we can take one off. Okay, if you take the whole range from the high to the low, yeah, it is still a little higher, so I would like to see us going higher. Not a huge fan of that candle, we just sub that sub those internals, we are not able for now to close strongly above it. Alright. So now we are taking the internals right here. For constant candles going higher, taking internals. If you are bearish, closure below market open. If you are bullish, we need to flip that 936 candle. Internal soup. Okay. Right. So now, of course, like, since we are only going from candle closures, this is not, you know, the best entry, but once this candle start opening higher and be around or above that 936 or 939 or 936, that's the best entry for you. put stop loss at the candle low or the previous candle low and just trail it higher. So now we are in one corner, we'll wait for possible manipulation to occur. For that, yeah, we can also try our stop right here. Now closure above 944, I want to see higher. Okay, we're closing also above those wicks, which is nice to see. Now, if we'll be able to close above 949, I would like to see us taking the highs again. Also to equal, is it equal or no? Internal sub at the highs, okay. But now we are closing above the order block again. We can put our stop loss right below it. Okay. Internal sub at the highs, okay. So now, for now, we just may not take the highs. This might be the potential high for now. The closure below 951 would mean for me that we are going at least rebalance this range on the left. Meaning we might get stopped out right now. Okay, we are sweeping the lows. And yep, we are closing below. So now we are playing inside this range from 930 low to this most recent high. Also guys, I will run it maybe to the 11 and then I will end it because I need to do some other work, but yeah, okay, just so you know. We're kind of retesting the CISD, kind of order block also. Kind of small winky candles. If you go for the high to the low, we just rebalance the range. Okay, we rebalance the internal sub at the highs. If we want to still go lower, which we might, closure below 1006 could be the spark of things. Then closure below 10 AM would indicate for me that we want to go lower for these three lows that we just, you know, just have here. Internal sub at the highs. Okay, we can take two right here. We can put our stop at that internal sub. I will delete these lines. Now also we need to have in mind where is 50% of this current range, which is below that 1005. But after we'll close below 10 AM, we should go really lower. Okay. Okay, after that candle, I'm pretty convinced that we should go for the 10 AM low. Right, yeah, I entered with 12. Guys, you need to tell me these things. Sorry about that. We'll take 11 off, meaning we'll take one off right there. Our stop loss is still at the best spot right here. Right now we are souping the lows right there. I wouldn't be too surprised if we just went a little higher to the EQ of the range. And yeah, closure like this below that order block, I would like to see lower. Internal soup. If we'll be able to close above 1017, Again, I wouldn't be a huge fan of that. Still, this might as well be just rebalance of the range, meaning if you are still short bias, this could be the best spot for entry. Meaning the confirmation for that would be 1023 closure. Yeah, if you close below 1023, that will be closure for us. Confirmation, sorry. We are sweeping the lows, we are not closing yet above it or below it. Now closure. So if you still think that we are bearish, for sure, Eric, yeah, thank you that you've been around, yeah. If you still think that we are bearish, this might again be the best spot for you for the next entry. Your stop could go as well above 1027 candle, above the little order block. Since we are in one, we might take one more con right here. We can also take our stop and put it above 1024, or even if you are correct, we can put it little into profit. So now the next entry for us, or next TP for us, these lows, and then the purple lines. Good closure right there, confirmation for me, and we should run. Awesome. Yep, one off right there. Meaning we can also put our stop loss to break even inside the order block or a little above it. So now we are taking the first purple line. This looks like distribution, or start of it at least. So we can kind of wait for the next manipulation to occur. Great candles, okay. Closing below that order block. Looks still that we want to go lower. Internal soup. We can try our stop. If we would be able to close above the order block, I would be more bullish. Or we could, you know, play in with scenario that we have our manipulation. But for that we need to see that closure. Still closing below that 1036. Another order block. Still no manipulation. That candle just rebalanced it little range. Closing still below. Okay. We take another purple line. I mean, we can put our stop at the candle wick of 1039. We can leave it right there. Internal soup, this candle closing like this closing CISD right here. This candle is retesting it. Meaning this might be our next manipulation. I'm not saying that we will take the highs. I'm just saying we might rebalance the range right here. And meaning the range from 1024 to this low. So we might get stopped out right here. Okay. We'll go over this macro and then we'll end it. Right, so now closure above 1046. I'm looking for entry for long with stop loss below the order block. We are stooping the lows of the previous candle, also retesting order block on the left. Internal soup candle. Again, I'm not a huge fan of entering right here, but since we are only playing with, you know, with candle closures, yeah, I won't be entering here. We are like really 2-3 points above, yeah, 6 points, yeah. But we got a point, you know, closure above that, you will be looking for higher. Awesome. All right. So now this is the last spot where we can kind of reverse lower, possibly rebalance the range for longs, and then maybe take it even higher. But I'm saying this is last spot because this accumulation is order block on a bigger time frame. Every accumulation you will see is accumulation or is order block on a bigger time frame, meaning where's a clean example of it? If you take a look on, you know, bigger time frame, this is order block, this is order block. on a big enough time frame, this whole thing right here is overblocked by itself. These highs, you know, that high is overblocked, that high is overblocked, yeah. So that's the reason I'm saying, like, we might have a little tough time going over this little range right here. Internal sub right there. If we would be able to close below 1052, I'll be looking for short. So, okay, not yet. We're kind of building LR at the highs, which I'm not a huge fan of. In the same time, we are closing below the 1058. Okay. If we go from the range low to the range high, we just hit 50%. So now, two scenarios that I'm looking for. Since we just hit 50%, it's quite possible that we will have some reaction of it, meaning we might print one green candle, possibly, you know, kind of rebalancing the range right here, and then closure below that would be my entry for shorts. Or we might go higher, take that LR, and then take it lower again, or higher. So that's those kind of scenarios that I'm looking for. Internal sub at the highs reacting from the order block on the left. So now closure below that 1103 would mean for me that we are going even lower. Internal sub at lows. So now we are taking sort of that LR. And now closure below 1106 would be kind of saying me that okay, like we might go lower, either for that internal low of 1048 or for that possible manipulation. Again, then if you'll just take that internal low, might mean, you know, manipulation, sub, fair swing, and then overall closure of this little area would mean for me that we might again go for the highs on the left. But just that's a little ahead of future. So now again, closure below here, I will be looking for shorts. Internal sub of the previous candle. Get this candle closing like that. That's our signal. Stop loss at the previous candle high. You can confirm that. The first tip in this scenario would be that 1048, again for the same exact reason. We might just take it, create kind of fair swing if this is manipulation, and run it back higher. So that's the reason why I will be taking one off at that low. We're nearly closing below that. We are not closing yet. Okay. That's confirmation right here. That's confirmation. I'm not sure if we just... Yeah, internal sub at that candle closing below that accumulation. So now I wouldn't be so afraid even to put our stop loss at a candle high of that 1115 to reduce our risk right here. Okay, we took it by a single tick. We might as well take one off right here. And so now, you know, the next TP for me would be that low of 1041. We'll just leave it like there. Okay, we'll just leave it like this, and this will be also the last trade for us. Internal sub at the highs, kind of closing below that 1117. I like it a lot. If you are not in the trade already and you still think that we are going lower, your entry, your stop loss at the candle high, and your TP. Internal sub. I'm asking myself, is this manipulation? If it is manipulation, I certainly don't like the wick right here. or even if it is fair swing, the confirmation for that would be the closure above 1118 candle. If you'll be able to close above that, then I would be thinking like, okay, if manipulation, soup, possible fair swing, then closing above this could be the potential spark of the move higher, and then closure above these highs on the left would mean for me that we should go for the, for even the bigger highs on the left. So yeah. Kind of small candles. Also the range right now, the high to the low, we just rebalance it. Confirmation lower, closing below the 1121. So now I want to see closing or taking the low again, low of 1121, and I would like to see 1041 be also taken. Right there. All right. Okay, guys. Do you have any questions about any fractal that went over, or any about, just about anything? Do you have any questions or not really? This might be possible manipulation. Closure above that would mean that we should go higher. We are not closing yet. Okay, strong cat closing. I mean, the flip like this, flips, kind of CRT model. Even here, going lower, taking internals again. Kind of CRT model. Manipulation, sub at the lows. Right here, stop, and TP. I'll give you one more. Okay. Alright, boys. So if you don't have any questions, I will appreciate.
I have one, Pitbull.
Yeah.
So can you look right here in the center of your screen? So the previous swing high, right? So how is this fractal different from the two fractals with staircase up when we were going bearish before, when you were expecting us to retrace to 50% and then have like a strong candle down, one of your signature models, I would say. So this fractal, look, we're kind of, can't say displacing because that's a retracement, those two moves up, and then we have this kind of the same staircase janky candles down, building up LR. So besides taking one of those low resistance liquidity, instead of like, besides swooping one of those low resistance liquidity highs, what is the main difference, how to spot those?
You mean this fractal right here, and you are
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, and you
Exactly.
are
Because,
taking this LRR that we built up right here.
but what's the main difference between those? Because besides those two bullish moves being instead of displacement being kind of retracement,
Yep.
right, from that larger bearish move, that's pretty much very similar signature. We have strong move up and then some janky candles down.
Yep. I got you. Okay, we can go a little back and go over this real quick. So now in this scenario right here, we just rebalance this range. So if we want to go higher, I need to see closure above this high. That's for sure, that everybody understands. So now internal soup, we are not able to get that closure yet. We're just souping the highs. A little later, we just start to build up that liquidity that you are talking about, that LRR. So then we can also put the whole range right here, even that or from the low of 1048, doesn't really matter. And so for the model of mine, I need to see how we react inside EQ of OTE or the bullish range. And also, if we do have any order block, strong FEG, most preferably order block in there, meaning we do have this 1046 candle. That's alright, that's perfect. But for that also, I need to see a closure above that last move lower that take us out, to basically the last move that soup the lows right here, okay? Meaning I need to see a strong closure above 1059 candle.
Yeah, that strong candle to the initial direction.
Yeah, so right now I'm just waiting for that. If that's going to happen, again, I'm looking for the highs to be taken, possibly, even these highs on the left.
Hmm.
So nothing, nothing, nothing. We just rebalance the bullish range right now. Okay, again, we are not closing yet. We just took some sort of LR right here at those highs. Still the same thing, internal sub right here. If we would be able to close above that 1059, I'm looking for longs right there. I'll be in the longs with my stop below that 1106 candle. Okay, nothing, nothing. Another internal sub, okay. And that candle is telling sub at a high, and we are also closing below this little accumulation that we had right here. So now I'm leaning more bearish. Why? Because we are not able to displace higher. Yes, we can argue that we just rebalance the range even deeper, took internals, and now if we're able to flip that candle of 1115, we are going higher. And I completely agree with you. If, we'll enter short right here with our stop at a candle high and it will be flipped, then I will be looking at this as possible AMD accumulation, manipulation lower to take it back higher. But that didn't happen. Basically, we just entered soup, and continue lower. So the main difference for me in this one, we are not able to close above this point right here. We just soup it again and we continue lower. That's the main difference.
Yep. No, I get the technicals because we failed to displace once more and close above that like second leg bullish move of ours to completely reverse the whole thing. But my question is more about an expectation because you were mentioning 2 times before, 2 fractals, that this kind of staircase up when we take swing high, go to 50%, go to swing high, go to 50%. So you don't enter because you kind of expect a strong candle in the opposite direction. So this, what I would be seeing here, a distribution, a potential reverse to the upside, 2 strong moves, and kind of janky move up. So I would be waiting for that candle to the upside, and instead we were just kind of slowly grinding our way down, and only then we finally did like go all the way. So speaking about this candle that takes below this little build-up accumulation, I most likely wouldn't be able to recognize it in live because I would be expecting the totally opposite thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's still possible. Like I said, this candle just might took internals and they reversed it higher. The additional confirmation of that internal sub at highs closing like that, you need to see distribution. If you will see in the next candle or two us coming back inside the range, then yeah, I would be expecting higher. But again, we are not predicting, we are reacting, and that candle alone is kind of telling us that we should go lower. And again, I think I told you, like, we might just take that 1048 and reverse it back higher. There is multiple possibilities in this fractal alone. Like you said, LR build up right here, so this candle, if it's not manipulation and we want to go lower, the first TP is that 1048, and if you'll be able to close strongly below, then I'll be looking for the lows to be taken, which is kind of what happened. We kind of close below it, push it a little higher, rebalance that little range right here, and then we closed lower. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else, guys?
I'm gonna quick question, Pitbull. I'm gonna let you go. Hey, I'm just kind of I don't even sure if this is a dumb question, but are you waiting till candle closers, or just because you're playing replay, obviously, right now?
When I'm turning live, I'm not usually waiting for candle closures.
Right.
So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will try to find one example of that. Where is market open? Right here, for example. The 936 coming back lower, internal soup, we push it back higher, this candle closing like this. If the next candle would be able to, since we will be passing this order block right here, I will be in a trade. We might stop below it. I wouldn't be waiting for that closure. I will be in around that 100 region.
Exactly.
You know, so live market, I'm not usually waiting for candle closures, but since we are playing replay, we are playing with cards that we are given.
Definitely. Right on, man. Well, I appreciate you.
For sure. And FEMA, usually I'm doing at least 1 or 2 weekly. So yeah. And in terms of if it's posted somewhere, a few of my backtest sessions are already posted in Whoop. I sent it yesterday's recording to the DJ, so it should be on a Whoop, whenever he's home. I also do have a recording on this one, so I will also send him this recording. And yeah, if it's not here, I also do have my YouTube that are where I'm posting these sessions. But yeah, that's all. Sure, Kodak. Alright, boys. Thank you for being with me here for 2 hours nearly. And yeah, thank you, and see you around. Bye bye.
Have a good rest of your week.
Thank you, Pitbull.
Yep, thank you.
Appreciate you.
Bye bye.
Have a good night. Have a good weekend.